I have a nonprofit organization and it's called National Educational Venture Alliance. Acronym is NEVA, right? So yes, my name, National Educational Venture Alliance, and the company basically provide admissions counseling for students who are looking to go into college. It is registered in New York as a nonprofit. Now, what that means, it doesn't mean that everything is free. No, it means that it's subsidized, that we are able to assist more students at a lower cost. So with fundraising, donations, and stuff like that, we're able to do our job well. Myself, I have a doctorate in educational leadership. And what that means is pretty much that I am able to run schools, universities, and so forth. I've had worked with students over the years, helping them to obtain scholarships. I have students that have gotten into some of the top universities in the United States, as well as other parts of the world, Canada and stuff like that. But my focus is really the United States, all right? Also beyond my nonprofit organization, which is pretty much the one that is putting on this informational session, The Road to Success, I have NEVALLIANCE. And NEVALLIANCE, we do corporate training, we do licensing courses, such as insurance and stuff like that. But I'm not going to go into that. You can always find out more about that at a later time. I'm going to let Dr. Francis introduce himself, and then afterwards we will continue on.
Thank you, Dr. Neva. That was wonderful, as usual. And I'm very happy to join this stage. I would say an August stage, because although we don't have a lot of participants, we will have the video and we will share the video with those persons who are of like minds and would like to find out more about the college journey. Just a little bit about me. I wouldn't say retired professor, but I'm a professor. I also have a doctorate degree in education leadership, higher education leadership, and I'm also a retired captain from the Jamaica Defense Force, who was trained in London, England, and all over the place. Now, I am currently the president of the Jamaica Men of Florida and the chairman of the Jamaica Diaspora Crime Intervention and Prevention Task Force. What is my interest in education? I have loved education from the beginning. I have a lot of experience, training education experience, very similar, but not as much as Dr. Neva, of course, because she's a practicing even now. I am practicing, but on a different level. Now, I'm very interested in seeing that young people get into colleges. That's the most important thing. We should never miss an opportunity. Just recently, Howard University and other universities have been making overtures for young people, especially in our culture, to come to the table and become university students, and they will get a lot of assistance. We can help you along that way so that you understand the process properly. I am learning a lot from Dr. Neva as we move forward. Although I've been in the system, I taught at several universities in California and locally. I'm in Florida at the moment. So we will be able to guide you, and we will do it honestly and sincerely. There's nothing but the truth here. Okay? So this is not a scam, nothing like that. This is live and direct. Dr. Neva is the real McCoy. Oh, you see how serious she is? Well, she's been more serious with me. Now, wonderful. Let's move on, and we are going to listen to her, learn from her, and we're going to be able to put on this session more, and you're going to have more people, Dr. Neva. Let me just make it quite clear, because I think that we now know exactly who to target, and these persons who are on are the smartest persons of the bunch that have seen this so far. Let's move on. Thank you, Dr. Neva, for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. Yes, we do plan to have these sessions more often. I'm looking at also doing something again in April. Hopefully we can do it on a monthly basis, but we have to see the need. All right. with that said, my first thing when I advise students, give them advice on colleges and stuff like that, one of the questions that I focus in on is, why do you want to go to college? Why do you want to go to college? And I ask that because you realize sometimes it's just because. One of the things you don't want to do is waste your time. You don't want to go to college, you get accepted, you go there, and the first year is a bust. You get, you don't do well because you truly don't want to be there. You don't want to waste money. And I say that whether it's or not, it's your parents' money or you're getting a scholarship. There's students that I know that have gotten, assistant, but once they got to college, they play around, they realize it's not really for them, they lose the college when other students could have had that opportunity. So why do you want to go to college? That's the first question you have to ask yourself. What are my long-term goals? It's another question that you need to ask yourself. All right. If you say, for instance, you just wanted to do a trade, and there's nothing wrong with trades, but if that's what you want to do, well, is it necessary to go path A versus path B? What are your long-term goals? Are you looking to be an attorney, or are you looking to be a scientist? I mean, are you looking to be a lawyer? So many different things. What are your long-term goals? What do you want to study? Very important. These are things that you need to do. So if you came and you sat in front of me, or we're doing a Zoom admissions counseling, these are things that I need to know up front. And I've worked with students where the parents are saying, well, you need to study this. However, they are more passionate about something else. And it's like a turmoil between them, the parents, and myself, because the parents have different vision versus them. And so we're not able to really move forward, or again, they'll start school and quit. So we don't want that, right? The next, you need to, figure out for yourself. And I'm going to put this a little differently. Are you an introvert or you're an extrovert? And why? Introvert is the type of person, they don't want to be upfront. They don't want to be in the face of everyone. They're kind of shy away, And then the extrovert are the type of person that wants to be around people. They're very excited, they move around. So which are you? And then I asked that to go back to, are you into smaller settings or larger settings? Do you want to go to a college that has a lot going on, or you just want a small set and your focus is just to study and that's it? Okay, so you need to know these things. The next, you really need to know, are you going to stay on campus, meaning a housing on campus, or are you going to stay off campus? And why you ask, you need to know this. This also relates to cost. So here's a fun fact, or something funny, or I should say, students always ask, or potential college students always ask, they want a scholarship. That's always a key word: scholarship, scholarship, scholarship. And although I know that is important, the same time, and whenever they come to me, I think sometimes I scare them away, because my question next to them is, my question to them is, or not question, my statement is, although you might get a full scholarship, a scholarship does not necessarily mean that everything is free, right? And Dr. Francis, you could even comment on this, because the other day we had a student that got what she thought was a full scholarship, right? You had referred some information to me and realized that she had to pay a housing, right, Dr. Francis?
Yes, that is correct. That is correct. And this is a situation that, it even surprised me too, that somebody would think that the entire process is free. It cannot. If it is free, something is wrong. And there's always read the what should I say, the small print, because somewhere along the line you have to ask the questions, if not, and have a clarification, because if you don't, you'll find yourself in the fix that this young lady found herself in. If she had the information before, as Dr. Neva is saying, then she could prepare for it. Okay? And I'm of the opinion right now that that led me to see how best we could prepare for students like that. And this is why Dr. Neva is having this, so she can let people know what is happening up front. So you know whether you can afford it, whether it is doable, because you don't want to be in the United States and you're left stranded. You do not have the funds to go on. I hope that answers the question, because that was an actual case.
And thank you, Dr. Francis. There are many cases like this. It's unbelievable. Students come in, oh, well, I guess it's a part of I don't know if the word is pet peeve that I want to use, where the first thing, can you get me a full scholarship? And my statement is always, there's rarely full scholarships. And they're looking at me like, well, I heard such and such got a full scholarship and da 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 da. So listen, whether or not you get a full scholarship, so that's also depend on your grade point average, which we're going to talk about a little bit. It also depend on the SAT, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit further down. Of course, your personal statement, whatever you write to the school, because personal statement, you're basically showcasing who you are, and they're looking at all these things, and also making sure you're well-rounded. You're coming with a lot to present their school in a good light. Because sometimes I think the misconception is that, oh, they want me, so they need to give me the scholarship. No, they may want you for a specific reason. For example, if you play sports, the reason why they're taking you on is because they also profit if you do well, right? And I've even seen students have gotten full scholarships playing sports, and every month at the end of, they're broke before the end of the month, because unfortunately they're not able sometimes to buy food. The card that they give for food ran out, right? So you still have to pay. So even though you might have gotten a scholarship, you have to pay for your food. You might have to pay for your housing, which we just discussed. You have to pay for your books. There are lab fees that depend on your major that you might have to pay for. So these are things that you need to consider before you go to college. And if you are able to get some type of scholarship or funding, how to also pay for the rest, right? With that,
Student,
go ahead,
Dr.
Dr.
Neva,
Chris.
yeah. I just want to say a thing. Just want to let you know, I'm just gonna say to you, I just got a message from a person who that they're at work, but they'll be waiting for the recording. So this recording is important. Let me say this. If you are a resident of the United States and you have a green card, you will be afforded certain grants, free grants, while you're in school. Okay? So I don't know if Dr. Neva wants to go into that, but I'm just saying to you, but you have to, regardless of whether you're going to get some free grants, you still have to budget. You still have to know how much time you have to be in school. Do you need to have a job on the side? Do you need, in order to sustain yourself? Why am I telling you this? Because I have a daughter right now, and when she left for school in California, she is now wondering why she did, because it was cheaper to be in school in Florida, but I guess she just wanted to leave home. Okay, so there are these things you have to take into consideration. If you're at home, you may not have the freedoms that you would want to have on your own, but with freedoms comes consequences and responsibilities. Take it over, Dr. Neva.
Yes, Dr. Francis, what is a specific question or statement that you wanted me to dig into a little bit?
It is the grants that people are afforded when they are residents in the United States, that they can get some grants.
All right. So there are certain, there's certain each university have their special scholarships or grants that they might give, and then there are government grants. I'm not going to go too deep into it because these are more personal one-on-one sessions based on their need. right? So if I have a student in front of me and that particular need or the location that they're at, because each state is also different, but there are also federal grants that are available. There's state grants that are available, and each college will have, awards, like merit awards, depending on your grade point average, depending on the major that you decide that you want to take. Or, so there might be special awards or grants for majors in for engineer major, or if you are a woman from India, or you're Black, or, specific ethnicity, race, whatever, it goes down. They look at all of that to give you something. It's if it's available. I do want to say that also some universities would only say they're accepting 10% of a certain group of individuals to attend their school. And within that, they might give them, a certain amount of scholarship. I'm fortunate enough to sometimes get emails and messages from colleges, universities stating that they have certain scholarships available. And we do try to put that information out there on our website, or actually, no, let me take that back. Not really on our website. We usually try to do that on our social media page to let individuals know that, there are available scholarships with this particular college. Of course, if, the student or the students fit that particular criteria that the college is asking. All right. So let's move on. Grade point average. I realize students get excited about, certain Ivy League schools. Well, Ivy League schools are not exactly the easiest to get into, right? So the grade point average, usually it goes up to, in the United States, 4.0. If you're coming from a different, say, country, you'll have to have the transcript analyzed to see where you fall on that scale, right? But in the United States, it goes up to 4.0. With that said, if you're a 3.7 or 3.8, those are the students that I see have a better chance of getting to some Ivy Leagues. And the higher you are, that chart. So pretty much, if you wanted me to break it down a little bit more, the A's are the ones that pretty much get a chance to go to Ivy League or get accepted at Ivy League. And now, what makes a little difference? Maybe you are great at sports. You have you have the track record. I'm not saying playing track and field, that's something else, but you have the record to show that you are great at sports. So there's students that come and say, well, I'm good at basketball. Where's it documented? Where's the videos? How can we, send these stuff that you've collected to present it to the coach and for the coach to look at? You can't just tell them you're great. There's millions of students out there. So what am I going to present on your behalf, right? So GPA is very important. Other than GPA, yes, they'll look at other criteria depending on the major that you're looking for. So if you have one of those majors such as business, you got to make that GPA very high. Science might be a little lower, not too much, but if you have a major where everybody is applying, you have to make sure that you're exceptional. All right. Now, the SAT exam, something else I want to talk about. The SAT exam, you're finding that a lot of, schools right now, because of the pandemic, they are not really being hard on the SAT exam, meaning that some have decided not to really look at it because there's students that could not take it. Now, you might say, yay, great. In the United States, that is, yay, great for those in the United States. For those outside of the United States, it's uh-oh, because SAT is something that they actually look at to, award scholarship. So I often say, if you can take it, take it. And we also have practice sessions through the organization for you to help you to, increase your score. That's something that we offer, right? So right now, although a lot of colleges, I would say maybe 50% are not really looking at the SAT exams as much as they used to. The Ivy League and the top schools, they still do. Some a little bit relaxed on it. Some are a little relaxed, but they're still looking at the SAT until they take away the SAT. It is still there. Now, before I move on to another area, Dr. Francis, do you want to say anything?
Yes, I want to indicate that it is very, very important to get your best score. I'll give you one. I love to tell stories. My daughter was going to college and I didn't see her excelling as I would have liked it in high school. I'm just saying to you, it is important to prepare, take it seriously, because the higher the score, the more you do into it. And I got her help from someone, a family member. Sometimes you can get help, but there are institutions also. In fact, Dr. Neva has the resources, I am sure, to assist or direct someone how to get the very best score. And I do as well. So what you need to do, though, is you do that, you make our jobs much easier and you get into the better schools because of the better scores. Better, quote unquote. It depends on what you want. Okay, so I just want to reinforce what she has said and indicate that she has resources. And please tell other students that that they must do the same. Thank you very much. Over to you, Dr. Neva.
Right. So let's move on to the next that I want to talk about before I open it up to Q&A. Just a tidbit of information here. There are different ways to apply for these colleges. You could apply directly through their website, but if you're the type, or the student is the type of person where they want to apply for maybe 5 colleges or universities at the same time, you have certain apps that you can use. One app is called the Common App, and that is commonapp.org. The other is called the Coalition application, right? And the other is called the Universal College application. The most popular one is the Common App, and I would say over 1,000, maybe more, much more colleges or universities are on that app. So once you put in your information, you get your recommendation letters. Well, the recommendation letter, by the way, so the recommendation is usually sent directly. So the university will send a letter to the individual email address that you asked to give a recommendation, and the person who's giving you a recommendation goes straight to the university. So you're not supposed to see what they wrote. So make sure, I always advise students, like, make sure the person that's given the recommendation for you really like you. And it may sound funny, like, why would you say that? Well, you don't know that, exactly what that person will write. You really want them to say the students are worked, this person work hard, that they're dedicated, they put their best foot forward. You don't want them to write that you're lazy, you cheated. You don't want that. So you want to, and you also want to make sure you have a good rapport from your, I would say, in the United States would be like 11th grade, 12th grade, and outside of the country, it's like 5th form, 6th form, that you have developed a good relationship with your counselor or your teachers, so that whosoever that you're asking to write for you will know you and feel comfortable in writing a good recommendation. So you have the recommendation aspect, you have the GPA aspect, you have the SAT aspect, and you need a personal statement. The personal statement, and I use a strange word, and you're going to hear me say it over and over every time that if you ever hear me speak, it's like you're selling yourself. It's like when they read it, that personal statement, they have to say, this person I want at my university. This person will represent my university well. All right. So at this time, I will open it up to Q&A. If you have a specific question you want me to address. But before that, Dr. Francis, I'm going to ask you to add any information that you feel is necessary in that.
Just sort of ask anyone out there if you feel that there's something special that we should focus on, and because it's important as we move forward that we have clarity in the questions and the statements that are being made. I want to also thank those that have come forward and to ask these questions, and I'm looking forward to hear as much response. I've also invited a couple more people to come on, and I'm glad to see that you are coming on. It is key right now at a young age that you follow the dictates of a good education to get a better education as we move forward for a career in the future. Thank you very much. That's all I have to say for the time being. Over to you, Dr. Neva. Anybody else wants to ask any questions, please go ahead.
Yes. Any questions or a question?
Well, this is Tony Gray, and again, thanks for the invitation, Dr. Francis. I really don't have a question, but I'm so happy to hear that it's recorded because I'd love to share it with some folks that are unable to be on this morning. But again, Dr. Neva, congratulations, and very informative. I've been enjoying it so far. Sorry, I had some audio problems. I had to switch to Zoom, but I'm truly enjoying it and happy to know that it'll be recorded for future listening. Thank you.
I was want to say thank you very much. Tony is the president of the Atlanta Jamaica Association. We have been colleagues for a very long time. And we have to make it up. Get like Tony to share with the rest of the public. Thank you, Tony, for coming on.
Indeed. Thank you, Dr. Francis. One correction, immediate past president, if I should say, might have not updated you, but yeah, thanks. I'm truly enjoying this, and we have quite a few students in our organization, which I will certainly share this with. Thank you, Dr. Neva.
Thank you. I do want to say before I take another question that this, we're looking, and I repeated this earlier, but we're looking to do this more often, just maybe once a month, like this platform where others can come in and ask questions versus just us talking, specifically what are some things, and Dr. Francis mentioned this, what are specific things or question that you have? So before they come, they know the question that we can address and tackle it. Also, this is a service that we offer through the National Educational Venture Alliance, where we do the counseling part, all right? And because it's nonprofit, we're able to charge like half the amount of what, or sometimes not even half, like a fraction of what others charge for this type of service. Now, understand with that, they also get in the SAT prep, and we're counseling them through the application process.
I'm going to also recommend, Dr. Neva, that we can maybe go to the schools, communities, where we can meet the community groups, and we could talk to them of how important it is to have these type of interactions with us at this level before they go into colleges, etc. So we might be able to identify schools in the area that lots of young people attend and what have you, and we're going to be able to target. That's what I'm looking at. I'm currently at an event which if I had just a few more minutes, I would have been able to announce in a very large event, and I know it would have come across well. So I'm hoping that the next time I will be able to do that. And certainly on the radio, I'm going to be pushing the idea of youngsters. I'm going to the schools in this area and around where Dr. Neva is. Your time, over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Any questions or statement that anyone else have? No, nothing at all?
Just to remind everyone, Dr. Neva, this is national and international. This is not just a Florida location or a Virginia, Pennsylvania location. This is for any school in the US that accepts students, and this advice is nationwide. So I just want to make that clear. It's not like we have picked out anybody else. And if you're an international student, it would apply to you, but in a few different ways, which I'm sure individual counseling with Dr. Neva will give in regards to that. Okay, because she has gone overboard and lectured and also about the subject. Thank you.
Definitely, Dr. Francis. I also wanted to say a few years back, I actually had set up a location center in Jamaica that I'm proud to say that students receive scholarships there. And some are, I mean, right now in med school and doing well. So this is not, you know, how should I put it? This is not just, hey, we're here. We've been working, and we've been showing results. And I've worked with students in Saudi Arabia, because I was there for some few years. So I've made that connection for individuals to get counseling to attend university here in the United States. I have relationships or alliances with colleges and stuff in, you know, US and Canada as well. All right, so anywhere within the Caribbean, the continent of Africa, wherever you might be in Europe, I'm able to assist. All right, so with that said, I don't know if there's any more statements that one may have before we just, you know, we depart. Mr. Grant?
Well, I know, is he gonna answer? But I know Mr. Grant has children of the college age, and I don't know where they are in the process exactly. But what we will do is, in our organization, he's a part of our organization. It's pretty large and expansive. I think that once we get, what we do is once we get the numbers and the people who are interested, where they are, I think that's important to indicate to us via our address, email, or what have you, what level they are. And so we can prepare for their level so that we can advise them accordingly. If you have reached the master's level, although you don't need as much preparation as the other students, you will still need preparation because information changes as you move along. So that is very, very important as well. So as we move along to weekly, we could look at, and we discussed with Dr. Neva, if we can do something on my show at the Super Jams Radio to see if we can keep the conversation going, establish a particular page, for example, on Facebook, wherever, to indicate that we are interested in working with students and have events that we can create and get the numbers in order to talk to, in order to get the better results going forward. So those are the things, the ideas that I'd like to see bring in. And I know that you have an arsenal there in your background as to how to do it. And so we will be developing that as we go forward. One last thing. I am doing a program on YouTube very shortly about public speaking, number 1, but 1 to 2, number 3, 101, 202, and 203. So why? Because I know that we have to sort of corroborate or collaborate speaking with also book learning and more studies. Okay, that's what I would like to say. Thank you very much for the opportunity, Dr. Neva. It has been wonderful. I wish it could be longer, but this is the first video, right? The first video that we have done, the fourth occasion we have done together. I know it's going to go from strength to strength. Thank you very much. And all the other participants, thank you for coming in. We do appreciate you.
Dr. Francis, Dr. Neva, before I go, I'm so sorry. Something just came up. I might have missed it. Is there an age requirement for this program? What if there are persons that want to visit college later on in the years?
No, well, let me answer first because, but then I ask, Dr. Neva, there's no age restriction. I even heard a woman in her 80s getting her bachelor's degree, right?
Okay.
So I'm telling you, there's no age restrictions to. And furthermore, Tony, I know you're smarter than me, so you shouldn't worry about going to school at any time.
Thank you, Dr. Frank. No, but the reason I asked, I thought I might have missed it. There are others that might want to finish college, go back. So this will be great information to pass on.
One more thing I want to say, Tony. You are an elder statesman to me. I don't mean it older. I mean the way you carry things that have interacted with you over the years. So I'm not surprised that you're on this call, okay? I'd love to. I'm going to tell you a quick story. a friend of mine I met in Toastmasters, and he came to me, and I was in Toastmasters. I was teaching at the college at the time, and he said, he said, boy, I don't know, I should do another degree, and he had a wonderful job at this Lockheed Martin or something, and what happened was he got laid off the next week during the 2008 thing there, and luckily he went back to college, and he's now a professor for the past 12, 15 years because of my assistant. So can you imagine? He's making more money than me right now.
Well,
Well,
Dr.
you know you have
Francis,
more money than me, right?
no. Well, I must say thank you. We have worked together over the years, and I truly appreciate and respect you in all that you're doing. And again, thank you so much for this invitation to attend. And please continue to do that.
Thank you
Always,
very much for your time.
always with you, my brother.
Thank
And
you. Dr.
Dr.
Neva,
Neva,
yeah,
it's
thank you
such a
very much.
pleasure.
I don't want to steal the show, so go ahead, Dr. Neva, your time.
No, feel free. I'm glad you're all talking. Yeah, so thank you so much for joining. I'm gonna sign off at this time, and please, yes, share this video. And if you know someone that needs any kind of help to attend college, have them contact us, all right? And the email address is info@nevalliance.com. And